Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kensthetic, and I'm here with you guys today to share my experience of when I traveled to Colombia. Before we get started, do not forget to subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So in case you guys do not know, I traveled to Colombia in September of 2017. I visited the cities of Medellin and Cartagena. And I chose to visit Colombia because I feel like it's depicted on social media and movies and media as a rich, beautiful, historic country. So I definitely wanted to visit. And when I bought my tickets, they were, you know, a little on the cheaper end. So I was like, let me go ahead and experience Colombia now. I did a little research, and basically the best time to visit Colombia is in the months of November, February, and March. They said that this is a good time to avoid crowds as well as get good flight prices. So if you are interested in visiting Colombia, then I would probably look for tickets around those months so that you guys can, you know, save a little coin while going on a trip. Where did I stay? So first I went to Medellin and I stayed at an Airbnb. And the Airbnb that I stayed at was in the hood, but I didn't realize until I got there, until after. So whatever, I was fine though. But Medellin has some amazing hotels, like amazing hotels. But I think I did look at them, but they were a little bit more pricey. So I was trying to save my coins, so I stayed at the Airbnb. And then when I was in Cartagena, I stayed at an Airbnb for the first kind of half of my trip. And then I stayed at a hotel for the second half of my trip. And that hotel was called Cartagena de Indias Hotel. And it's basically like on the strip with like the Hilton and all of these other hotels. And it basically overlooks the sea because it's on like the beachfront. Amazing views. Would definitely recommend. And the hotel that I stayed at was probably like, I want to say $100 a night, because basically what happened was that when I went in September, you know, I said our ticket prices were a little cheap, but basically September is hurricane season. Well, around August, September is hurricane season in the Caribbean. It was a year of Hurricane Maria, and Hurricane Maria did not directly affect Colombia. But, you know, travel delays based on airlines, planes coming from different places, and all of these other regular operation effects. So my flight basically got canceled. So I ended up having to stay in Colombia for 2 extra days. And I didn't mind because I'm like, okay, extra vacation. I just have to basically extend my living situation. But I did have to take 2 extra vacation days from work, which kind of sucked. But so next is, what did I do while I was in Colombia? So when I was in Medellin, I stayed there for about 2 days, and Medellin was a great city. I feel like Medellin was more like historic than Cartagena. Cartagena was like more advanced, in my opinion. When I was in Medellin, I visited the Planetario de Medellin, which is basically a museum that it's like a planet museum, but it was just cool because I like going to museums, and the fact that this one was based around planets and I've never been to a museum like that, it was cool. And in that area of the museum, there's a mall across the street, there's like a park around, it's just like a lot of things going on, so it's just really cool. Went to the museum, explored the area for a while, and there's like shops on the street, like vendors set up, so I was able to snag all of my souvenirs at one time. And yeah, and then they also have people like standing outside selling excursions. So if you are interested in going on excursions, you could probably go around there, find someone who is selling like tickets for excursions. And I always like buying excursion tickets in person if I can, just because when you buy it in person, it gives you the ability to negotiate, so that, you know, you could save a little coin. And conveniently, I have a video on my channel about negotiation, which you guys can check out. But I just prefer to negotiate because even though sometimes they don't budge, if you have the ability to save your coin, then why not? And then also when I was in Medellin, the day that I went to the museum, I basically found someone who was selling tickets for a day tour to go to Guatapé Bay. And it was basically a full day tour. I think we ended up negotiating to pay $60 per person. And when I tell y'all, that tour was... it was breathtaking. Like the views, it was just amazing. But in Guatapé Bay, they basically took you to different places. So they took you like in the streets, they took you to like the colorful buildings, they took us to the rock that we had to climb up. So 742 steps, and the view was really, really breathtaking. If I can't find a picture, I'll go ahead and put it on the screen so that you guys can see. But I was struggling walking up them steps because your girl didn't go to the gym for a couple months before I did that, so I was struggling, but it was definitely worth it because the view was amazing. And then also on that tour, they took us on a boat, and yeah, I think that was it. And then when I was in Cartagena, I stayed there for a total of 3 days, and I did the Playa Blanca day tour, which is basically a beautiful beach in Colombia. Definitely recommend it. And basically a part of the tour, they allowed you to, I think it was like $50 extra to get on the boat, and it kind of took you to the different islands that they have in Playa Blanca. And they give you an option of either a dolphin show, I think it was a dolphin show, snorkeling, and scuba diving, and you got to choose one of the three. I ended up choosing the dolphin show just because your girl can't swim, and I did snorkeling before, so I was like, I don't want to do it again. I'd rather, like, you know, see a dolphin show because I heard that the dolphin show was great, so I did that. I'll go ahead and include pictures or videos on the screen if I can find some, but it was an amazing experience. I would definitely recommend visiting Playa Blanca. And then I also went to Castillo San Felipe, which is a castle in like the downtown area of Cartagena. It's very historic, amazing views. The picture that's going to be the thumbnail of this video was basically a picture that I took there at sunset. I would recommend going to Castillo San Felipe around the time of sunset because the view from there is amazing. And if you guys don't know, I am a sucker for sunsets, so that was probably one of the highlights of my trip. And then I also did the hop on hop off bus, and I think it was about like $20 US for 2 days, I want to say. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but it was just a great way to like get to see the different streets, the different parts of Cartagena. It was a great way. We went to Santa Marta and a couple of other places, but it was just like a great time to like explore. You're able to like move at your own time because you can hop on and hop off the bus whenever you want during the hours of operation of the bus. So I would definitely recommend that. And then I also went to Barrio Nacional de Colombia, and it's basically a bird museum in Colombia. It is close to Playa Blanca, so if you can combine the bird museum and Playa Blanca in a day, I would recommend that. But the bird museum was really cool. In case you guys do not know, flamingos are my favorite animal, and that was the first time that I actually saw a live flamingo, so I am surprised that I didn't pass out because I was really in awe. But it was a great experience. Some suggestions of other things that you can do while in Colombia, which I didn't have time to do while I was there, was in Medellin. They have like a tour of graffiti where they take you like through the streets, and you can see different streets and different historic graffiti that they do have around the city, so I would recommend that. And then in Cartagena, they have Volcán del Tutumo, which is a volcano, and they take you to it, and you can like bathe in like the volcano mud. It's really cool, and it's supposed to be relaxing. And then they have Shiva Rumbera. It's basically a party bus, so basically they pick you up or you meet up at a spot and they take you on this bus, and it's just like a lit party bus. And a lot of people recommended to do it, but I was more so willing to explore the streets at night, like pick up souvenirs and stuff like that, so I did not do that. Next thing is, how was the nightlife in Colombia? And the nightlife was okay. I didn't really go out at night just because I always had an early start to the next day. In Medellin, I went out one night, and it was basically like a street market, and it had like different vendors and stuff, but I was able to get some really cool jewelry at a cheap price. So I would definitely recommend like going out on Medellin, like in the streets during the night, and just seeing like, you know, what's going on. Next thing is, where did I eat? So most of the time in Colombia, I ate at like local restaurants, but there were some places that I did take note of that I would definitely recommend if you are in Colombia. So the first place is Cosecha. So in Cartagena, I think all of these places are in Cartagena. Yeah. So all of these places were in Cartagena. When I was in Medellin, I mainly ate at local restaurants, and I think one day I had Burger King at night because that was the only thing open. But in Cartagena, I would definitely recommend Cosechas. Like every time I passed by Cosechas, I had to go in and get a smoothie. But they have lit smoothies. Like they're so good, they're so refreshing. I would definitely recommend. And then there's another spot that has smoothies. It's called Nativos. But basically, Nativo smoothies are more yogurt based than Cosechas. So depends on your preference, but I prefer like more fruitier smoothies. So cosechas, that was my big during the whole trip. And then I did go to a steakhouse, which was Restaurante de Res. I'll go ahead and put the name on the screen. But it was like everything there was great. I don't eat steak like that, but I tasted some steak and it was lit. The chicken was lit. The sides were lit. They had I think it was strawberry based plantanos, and it was so good. Like, I've never ever had that before. I was never able to find it after. Like, they were so good. I would definitely recommend that, especially if you're in Colombia for like a birthday and you want to go out and be elegant and classy. Definitely recommend that. And then another place that I ate at was called Gokela, and they have like salads and wraps and smoothies. And at that time I was like kind of trying to be healthy, but not really. So whenever I needed like something quick to eat, I would just go there. It is quick. They don't take long to make your food. You get to like pick your toppings. Like, it's really good and it's very refreshing. And then the last place that I would recommend is called La Broche. I'll go ahead and put the name on the screen. But they have great burgers, pastas, and while I was there, I ended up going there like 2 or 3 times because the food was so good. So the next thing is, how did I get around? So when I was in Medellin, I basically took the train everywhere just because it was cheap and it was convenient. They do have Uber in Medellin and in Cartagena. So if you are an Uber person, if you prefer to like drive places rather than figuring out the train system and whatever, I always enjoy figuring out a train system when I'm anywhere, because I feel like if you can take the train in New York City, you can take the train anywhere. But that's just my personal opinion. And then when I was in Cartagena, I basically walked everywhere because everything was kind of in walking distance to the places where I was staying. And some other tips, tricks, and advice while in Cartagena is, one, make sure that you guard your belongings. Everywhere that I went, like, you know, I would have my camera out trying to take pictures. I would have my phone out texting or whatever. And even the police officers came to me and they were like, you know, we suggest that you put your camera away. We suggest you put your phone away, just because a lot of people get robbed. A lot of tourists get robbed because the locals can basically sense who the tourists are and specifically target them. So I would say to make sure you guard your belongings while you're in Colombia. And then the next suggestion that I have is, if you're in Cartagena and you enjoy sunsets just as much as I do, I would recommend, one, going to San Felipe at night. I mean, during sunset, because the sunset view from there was amazing. And then also in downtown Cartagena, there's like a bridge that a lot of people like go up and they stand on, because you have an amazing view of the sunset over the city. It's just really beautiful. It's very breathtaking. So I would recommend that. And the last thing is, would I want to visit Colombia again and why? And I would definitely go back to Medellin. I wouldn't necessarily go back to Cartagena because I feel like I experienced a lot of Cartagena during my trip, especially since I had like that 2-day extension. And then I do want to visit Bogota, which is another city in Colombia that I did have a layover in for one of my flights. But I would definitely go back and visit that city to see, you know, what it got going on or whatever. But yeah, that was basically my experience when I visited Colombia. Comment down below and let us know if you guys have any additional questions. As always, make sure you guys read all of the comments down below. You might find a question you didn't think of. You might find an answer to a question that you did have. So make sure you guys comment down below and read the comments. Before you guys head out, make sure you guys subscribe by hitting that red subscribe button down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. If you guys plan on visiting Colombia after this video, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. If you guys plan on visiting Colombia and this video helps you out, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. And I'll go ahead and include my recent uploads here in case you guys are not caught up for whatever reason. And until my next video, I will see you guys later.